Marcus smile and shake hands with the mayor. Every moment of Marcus's success felt like a knife in Gary's chest. One night Gary made a phone call to an old business partner named Victor Danes. Victor was a wealthy land developer from the city who had connections with powerful people. Gary told Victor about the cheap land in Cedar Hollow and how the town was now getting national attention because of Marcus. "If we can get that seal out of the picture, we can buy up the land and build a real development," Gary said. "Condos. Shopping centers. Big money." Victor liked the idea. He sent a team of lawyers to Cedar Hollow with one mission: find a way to shut Marcus down. Within days, Marcus received an official notice from the county. It said his mud brick house violated modern building codes. It said he did not have proper permits. It said he had 30 days to tear down his home or face legal action. Marcus stood in his doorway reading the letter while Brutus sat beside him. His hands did not shake. His voice did not tremble. He simply folded the paper and said quietly, "They have no idea who they are dealing with." When the people of Cedar Hollow heard what was happening, they were furious. Marcus had saved their town. He had taught them how to build homes that could survive anything. And now someone wanted to tear it all down. A young schoolteacher named Rosa Gutierrez organized a town meeting at the community center. Over 400 people showed up. The room was so full that people stood outside listening through open windows. Rosa stood at the microphone and said, "Marcus Cole did not ask for fame. He did not ask for money. He came here with nothing but his dog and his bare hands, and he gave us everything. Are we going to stand by and let strangers destroy what he built?" The crowd erupted. "No," they shouted in unison. That night the town formed a committee to fight the legal notice. They raised money for a lawyer. They contacted journalists. They started a social media campaign with the hashtag #StandWithMarcus that went viral within 48 hours. Thousands of people across the country shared Marcus's story. Engineers and architects posted videos explaining that mud brick construction was not only safe but stronger and more sustainable than many modern building methods. Universities reached out offering to study Marcus's techniques. The pressure on the county became enormous. Within 2 weeks, the county officials withdrew the legal notice and issued a public apology. Gary and Victor's plan had completely backfired. But the story did not end there. One rainy evening, Marcus heard a knock at his door. Brutus growled low, but Marcus placed a hand on his head to calm him. Standing on his porch soaking wet and looking like a broken man was Gary Thornton. Marcus stared at him for a long moment. This was the man who had mocked him. The man who had tried to destroy his home. The man who had built houses out of garbage and let families suffer. "What do you want, Gary?" Marcus asked. Gary could barely make eye contact. His voice cracked when he spoke. "I lost everything, Marcus. My money. My business. My wife left me. My own kids do not talk to me anymore. I have nowhere to go." Marcus stood in silence. Brutus watched carefully. Then Marcus did something that shocked everyone who later heard the story. He stepped aside and opened his door wider. "Come inside," he said. "Nobody sleeps in the rain. Not even you." That night Gary slept on a cot inside the mud brick house he once called a joke. The walls were warm. The roof did not leak. And for the first time in months, Gary slept through the entire night without waking up in fear. Over the following weeks, something remarkable happened. Marcus gave Gary a chance to redeem himself. He did not give him a speech or a lecture. He simply handed him a shovel and said, "Start digging." Gary worked alongside Marcus every single day. He dug clay. He pressed bricks. He carried water. His soft hands blistered and bled, but he never complained. Slowly the man who had cut every corner in business learned what it meant to build something real. Months later, Marcus and Gary stood together at the opening of Cedar Hollow's first sustainable building school. The school would teach people from all over the country how to build affordable and storm-resistant homes using natural materials. A reporter asked Marcus how he could forgive someone who tried to ruin his life. Marcus looked at Brutus, who was lying peacefully at his feet, and then looked at Gary, who was standing nearby with tears in his eyes. "In the SEALs we learned something important," Marcus said. "The strongest structures are not built with perfect materials. They are built with broken pieces put together the right way. People are no different." The crowd applauded. Gary wiped his eyes. And Brutus wagged his tail. Today the Cedar Hollow Sustainable Building School has trained over 2,000 students. Marcus and Gary work side by side, teaching every single class. And that little mud brick house on the dead lot still stands untouched by every storm that has come since. It was a quiet Tuesday morning when Marcus received a phone call that would change not just his life but the lives of millions of people across America. He was in the yard mixing clay with Gary while Brutus supervised from his favorite shady spot under the oak tree. Marcus wiped his muddy hands on his jeans and answered the phone. The voice on the other end introduced herself as Catherine Wells, a senior advisor from the White House. She said the President of the United States had seen Marcus's story on the news and wanted to meet him personally. Marcus went silent for a full 10 seconds. "Sir, are you still there?" Catherine asked. "Yes, ma'am," Marcus replied calmly. "Just making sure Brutus heard that too." Brutus tilted his